Hello AP Physics students. In this video I'm going to show you how to solve problems with Newton's second law. Basically these are problems where there's some object being accelerated by unbalanced forces, and there's many steps that need to be followed in these problems, and I recommend that you carefully proceed through these steps. These actually go at the end of your notes, so if this is useful to you, please write them under that last heading in your notes, under the units of force, which are newtons. So I'm going to show you a problem that follows these steps, and you can come back to this in the video if you need to. All right, so here's a problem with vertical forces. Step 1, identify the system being accelerated. That is the bucket. Bucket's being accelerated vertically. That means we're going to represent that with some sort of dot in a diagram, right? All right, step 2 is to define our coordinates. So we're going vertically, so we could have like a y-axis, but let's just use x because that's what the equations are written in terms of. So positive x is up and negative x is down. Next, we have to identify the forces and draw a free body diagram. So it's being lifted. There's an upward force, most likely tension from some sort of chain or rope, but there's also always the weight. And people tend to forget about that when they do vertical force problems. Next step, we have to explicitly write Newton's second law. And then step 5, we replace it with the actual forces. So we defined up as positive, so that means T is positive and mg is negative. Right? When we add vectors, we're going to end up subtracting if they go in opposite directions. That's how those get added in the net force expression. Next, we can substitute and solve. That's it. But first, it's a good idea to rewrite this in terms of your unknown. And since we want to know how high does it go, we need to know the acceleration. So it's going to be T minus mg over m. And when you plug in everything and solve, well, it looks like this. Let me just make sure. So it's 150 minus mg is 117.6, right? It's not 12. 12 is the mass, times 9.8 is 117.6 over the mass 12. So these are newtons and those are kilograms. So what we get is an acceleration of 2.7 meters per second squared. Now we can find the height. The kinematics equation that works here is this guy. It starts at rest, so that means v0 is 0. We can just say that the initial x position is 0, so we can just plug stuff in here. So it's 2.7, this is upwards, so it should be positive, times 3 squared, and we get 12.15 meters. So if you follow the steps, you'll get there. Thanks for watching.